All right, let's kick it off. This is a QB stock exchange version because we're doing all QBs. And I will say, sometimes you get advised by different people. I've been meeting with Fornelli advisors quite a bit, been taking some of his advice, some of his newsletters that have been published. And I will say he's been pretty spot on about some of these. So some of these are impacted by Fornelli advisors. One, my biggest buy that I could possibly make would be to snatch up all the Sawyer Robertson I can get. And Fornelli's been talking about this for quite a while. I think he's the best quarterback in the country. I don't know what his final record is going to be because Baylor's defense is a sieve and they have major issues. But if there was a quarterback out there that you said, I want from start to finish, no matter what the score is, the guy's got all the skill set that you want. What he did on the road, bringing his team back from behind, never looked rattled. He's got a cannon for an arm. Sawyer Robertson, 429 yards per game with 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, leading his team from a come behind and against an SEC defense in week 1, 393 yards. But just watched all that game, he looked like the best quarterback in the country. In the end, somebody else may win the Heisman. Somebody else may have a team that's better. But for me, he's the best quarterback in college football.
I'm going to say a sentence here, Danny, that would have sounded very normal, but maybe 10 years ago, but out of place for the last 2 or 3. Having a really veteran guy at quarterback can help.
Yes.
Yes. Because now that not everyone has one, it really stands out.
Yes, it does. It absolutely does.
I mean, it's early, but it is like you look at the stats. He's averaging 429.5 yards passing per game. In second place is Darian Mensah at 361. So he's basically throwing 70 yards more per game than anybody else in the country. But I also think that is a testament to the game situation Baylor has found itself in a couple of times, but also B, Baylor does not seem to have much faith in their run game. So they're just like, Sawyer, save us.
Yep.
And he's doing a very good job of it.
Yes. He's 60-1. If I like long shots to throw a couple bucks on him to see if it hits. I don't know. If they're 9-3, I think he's got a chance. 8-4, we've seen that kind of be the line of demarcation. But if he puts up these numbers and they're 9-3, and maybe in the Big 12 championship, which I don't think is crazy to think, considering how that conference is kind of wide open, I think it's worth a flyer to take it.
There's cash out potential there. Maybe you don't expect it to win, but you hope that in a month from now, you're getting some money offered.
Getting some money back, a little 3x your investment. I mean, look at that. The firm's already given out great plays right from the jump. Sawyer Robertson. Love that.
Yeah. So in the next one, now this is one where Fornelli advisors, he's been just pounding the table on this one. And I feel like he's been Steve Carell in The Big Short when he's trying to tell everybody what's happening? Why don't you guys see this? Why do you not see this with your own eyes? And this one pains me. Because I've been a big defender. I'm selling my Cade Klubnik stock.
Mm-hmm.
He's still going to be fine. I think they could still win the ACC. But I am selling my Heisman stock. I'm selling my national championship stock, probably most importantly. I was never a big believer that Cade Klubnik was going to be an NFL guy. When I saw him showing up on top 10 mock drafts, I don't know about that, but I still think he could be a great college quarterback who could win a national championship. I'm selling that stock in Cade Klubnik, that he can be there. And even to hear Dabo kind of call him out and say our QB needs to play better. And I get that Antonio Williams is best wide receivers out. They don't have a run game, but if anything, that just kind of has exposed Cade Klubnik as a player that needs a lot of good weapons around him. And if you look historically, when Clemson has won the national championship, they've had a difference maker. Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson. That's why and I didn't pick them to win the national championship. I thought they could get there. I think they're a playoff team, and that's about it.
Yeah. They're not better.
I've always been really, bucketing the praise and also the skepticism for Cade. To your credit, you've always been hey, he doesn't have the look of a big time NFL guy physically. He's more of a college guy. Maybe last year is what he is. He doesn't have an extra gear to get to.
We all know how I feel about Cade. I will say, just watching it a little closer, and I'm not defending him, but I feel like there is an entire host of problems going on in that offense. I feel like the inability to get anything going on the ground is letting defenses just kind of pin their ears back, and it's really overwhelming an offensive line that I do not think is good enough to protect him. And he's not getting a lot of time, but he's also taking too much time, and I just don't see a lot of great I just think the offense as a whole is in a very bad place, and it's only been 2 games, so there's a chance for them to get out of it as the season goes along. But one of the problems is like Troy was supposed to be a game where you were able to figure things out, and they didn't. Furman is on the schedule. That's supposed to be the other kind of game where you can figure things out, but that's not until the very end of November before the South Carolina game. Like, they get Georgia Tech this week. ACC play is coming at them right now. So I don't know, man. It could be not like a disastrous season, but like we could be looking at it 8-4 Clemson.
Well, they are better. They have better wide receivers than what DJU had, but they don't have the ground game. And like, you take it back. Let's see if I can do this. Andre Ellington, Wayne Gallman, Travis Etienne, Will Shipley, Phil Maffa. Like, they have had, I don't know if they were all 1,000-yard rushers, but they have had dudes basically all throughout the Clemson run of being at the top of the ACC.
CJ Spiller.
I mean, throw it all the way back
at the very start of the run. Yeah,
the very beginning of it.
And did you guys see the one-handed catch by Nuke Hopkins last night for the touchdown?
Yep.
That's what Clemson used to have at receiver.
Yep.
They don't have that anymore.
Watkins.
And like, we've hyped up a lot of the guys that they've gotten, but they haven't had anything near that in a long time. Like, Hunter Renfrow has been, and not a shot at Hunter Renfrow, who was very good, but that's the best receiver they've had in years. And it's like, that can't be where, if you want to be where you were winning national titles.
I mean, yeah, Mike Williams, T. Higgins, like it, yeah. And look, I still think that we could be watching on Sunday and TJ Moore and Bryant Wesco are catching touchdown passes and are like top fantasy football picks. But the problem, to your point, is that if a defense doesn't respect the run game, then the offensive line gets overwhelmed. Then Cade is running for his life. And then he is going to look even worse because he has been at his best when they have a talent and schematic advantage. And then he can just light the world on fire. But all of these times that he's had, like Danny, the way that you coined it, the deer in the headlights look, it's always been off schedule, long situations, and he just doesn't always meet the moment except against Pitt, and that's not it. You're not playing Pitt. Sorry, Corey, in the tailgate. You're not playing Pitt in the college football playoff. Any of our assumptions that Clemson's going to be making it a game or two into the college football playoff are going to require something that we just haven't seen so far from the Tigers.
Maybe it's a panic sell. Maybe he'll win me back and I'll buy some more later in the season. But right now, I got to sell my kid Klubnik. There's another quarterback who I would have doubled down, and I probably did this past after week 1. And I even guaranteed that he would have a better pass performance from week 1 and week 2. And he did. He doubled his passing yardage. But I'm selling my Mark Gronowski QB stock.
I'm sorry. Actually, that stock has been delisted.
I mean, we talked to Kurt Ferentz and he had a gleam in his eye. He's like, I finally got a guy. And I was like, yes, let's go. Make me look good. My man. I mean, I've seen high school quarterbacks with more pocket awareness than the lack of a sense of urgency. Like, every quarterback has to have an internal clock where when you have to get rid of the football. He's working with a sundial. Like, you just got to speed it up a little bit. And then even in the run game, I'm like, will you protect yourself? He's kind of just running a little bit timid. I'm like, this is big boy football. This isn't the FCS anymore. And if they throw one more out route on the outside, and it's like and it's a far hash throw, which you need, like even Josh Allen, it'd be a risky throw with him. And they kept going to him, and they did get the interception, which led to Iowa State's touchdown. They took, I think, 1 or 2 shots where they actually threw it down the field. The receiver's an issue. They've got to find a weapon there. But my man, Mark Gronowski, I'm a little bit worried, was overhyped by yours truly. So I'm selling the stock.
I'm buying. This is
You're buying
stock.
Low?
This
he
is
looked a little better
stock.
in the second half.
Listen, you are just ignoring returns right now. You are just throwing money away. He went from 2.9 yards per attempt against Albany to 3.5 yards per attempt against Iowa State. That is a 20% growth in 1 week. And you tell me you want to throw that stock away? Not me. Give me 1 million shares for $10 right now.
He could be league average by Halloween then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to be retiring off of Mark Gronowski getting to 4.7 yards per attempt by the end of the season.
Yep. All right, I got two more. I got a buy and I have a hold. I'm buying Dante Moore. And I know it's a game where you win 69-3 and it looks pretty easy, but he looks really comfortable in that system. He looks like he knows exactly where to go with the football. And I'm buying Oregon as a Big Ten champion candidate to go back to back. They look to be the real deal. I think they found a quarterback. I think the year off did him wonders when he could go out. And you know who else gives him wonders? To be able to have that type of talent. I heard you. So the Mekhi Hughes stuff. Is Dan Lanning just saying we're so good we don't need him that much? Is that what he's saying?
According to our Richard Johnson, not the one in the tailgate, it's that he's having trouble adapting to the offense because he went from they ran a different kind of zone scheme at Tulane to what they're running at Oregon, and he's having trouble adapting to it. Now,
which watch out when he gets comfortable because there's another weapon that he'll be able to work with. So I'm buying Dante Moore, buying the Ducks. Which I had him as a playoff team already, but I think now, from what we saw across the Big Ten, I think they should be right in the conversation to win the Big Ten. Speaking of, I have another Big Ten quarterback. I am holding on to my Drew Aller stock. I think some people may want to sell it. Yeah. It wasn't great versus FIU, even early. It's like, what happened to all those wide receivers that they got? He didn't look great in that game. I'm going to chalk it up to them. I think they're kind of playing with their food a little bit. I think they're not, the intensity level isn't there. I mean, what he needs is what happened to Dan Lanning, some coach to call him out and say, oh, they've got all the talent. They're spending too much. You know, it's an unfair advantage, something to wake them up. Unfortunately for them, I think that wake up call only comes when they actually play an opponent. So I'm not that concerned about Drew Aller yet, but I will say, who's the quarterback, the wide receiver who's looked really good this year, who didn't do any, Wallace?
Oh, right? Harrison Wallace.
Harrison Wallace is out there making big plays now when he wasn't last year. Mildly concerning, but I'm holding on to my Drew Aller stock for now.
To your playing with the food, I am concerned because that first real test is going to be against Oregon.
Right.
And Oregon has all of the rhythm of a team that's not playing with its food. So, like, are you just going to be all of a sudden be able to ramp up and meet them? Now you're going to be playing at home. They're going to have to fly across the country. You've got a lot of intangibles that are going to help Penn State. But right now, Oregon will have had more hours and days operating close to peak efficiency than Penn State will have unless they turn things around pretty quickly.
I think I'm in on Dante Moore as like at least pretty good. I'm with Danny on that. I will say there is kind of like a boiling point theory. Like just it acts different when you have different level of competition. To his credit, the ball's been really accurate. It's been on time. The guys, like, it's a catchable ball. They're able to run with it after the catch. There's a lot of fairly easy stuff schemed up. He only has 2 big time throws on the entire season as graded by PFF. Like the best kids in the country right now have like 6, 7, 8, 9. So he hasn't had to execute many, if any, challenging throws. The first guy is almost always open. I think Will Stein's a great OC for Oregon. And I think it's impressive that he's doing this now with a quarterback who's not like 24, like Bo Nix or Dylan Gabriel were. But we don't know if some of those easy access throws are going to be available against Penn State in like quite the abundance that they have been against an FCS team and then against kind of a zombie Oklahoma State team. So like that I would still like to see. I also like the no sacks thing. I mean, like he is not just – he's clearly seeing it. The ball's out on time. If he's got to hold it and pat it a little bit, is he going to the second guy? This is kind of the Sellers thing right now too, right? Like, you know, we saw what Tech did. We saw honestly like South Carolina State. Who's the guy? Reed for ESPN pointed this out again over the weekend. Like, hey, it's like the Lenora Sellers throw the ball in the middle of the field challenge, and just he reads 1, skips over 2, throws right to 3, which is just a little kind of worthless check down. So we'll see how Moore does when stuff's less open.
Yep. Holding Drew Aller. All right, there we go. Market's closed.